Hello, happy Homebrew Wednesday. I am enjoying a pint, okay? And I thought, I haven't got anything for Homebrew Wednesday video this week. I'm trying to get back into the routine of putting one up every week. It's been, the whole of August has basically been my summer, and it's been kind of difficult to plan anything. So it is now the end of August. We're on the 29th. Been away again this weekend. Been away most weekends, basically of the whole month, and then off with the kids. I've had my family over as well. My brother was staying with me, so we've been basically boozing every night. So that doesn't really, when you're boozing every night, it's not really, doesn't work well for making kind of videos on YouTube, it seems. So yeah, I'm back today. I poured myself a pint. Thought, you know what, let's just make a little video. I can put it up tomorrow and I'll just keep you updated as to what has been happening and what is going to be happening, hopefully. So first of all, this beer. So this is called a Hazy Talis, I call this beer. I need to be a bit more gentle with it because I can see like hop debris and stuff floating about on it. Oh, look at that, there's a big ring of hop shit around the bottom. So this is a beer I make quite a lot. It's very simple. It's just like been making it with Pilsner malt. It's with a base malt, either Pilsner or kind of light ale malt. And a little bit of Vienna and some oats. So golden naked oats. And that is it. And then the hops are just, there only is one hop in it, which is Talis. Talis is, I've said it many times, I absolutely adore Talis. I love Talis hops. And every time I make this beer, it always turns out really good. So, I mean, it looks a bit more dark. I made this one, this was not pressure fermented. And I have to say, it is noticeably darker than the previous version, even though it was using all the same malts, same process. So that is one. That's definitely a score 1 for the pressure fermenter. I only have one pressure fermenter. I'm seriously considering getting another one. Because obviously, in terms of the color, for a start, it's hazy. It's always going to be hazy. It's a New England IPA yeast. So 4.7%. That is exactly what I want to taste after a weekend of drinking Guinness and really terrible lager. So basically this is the antidote to everything I was drinking. And as soon as I tasted it, I was thinking, oh, it's amazing. Now I didn't do a brew day video on this. I don't believe, unless there's like something squirreled away on this camera or the phone or something. But, so I thought maybe I'll do a mini review of sorts. And then I'll talk about 5 minutes about God knows what. We'll see what comes out of my mouth. Sorry, it's not just Talis. I just looked at the recipe. There's actually Nelson Sauvin in there. So my 2 favourite hops. It's heavy on the Talis. It is heavier on the Talis than it is on the Nelson. So basically, I've created a beer where my 2 favourite hops are in the beer. And every time I make it, it's superb. So on the nose, now obviously I've drunk half a pint, but which tends to mess up what you're smelling. But to me, that is there's definitely grapefruit in there. Bit of stone fruit maybe as well. I think these are advertised as having like tropical notes on it, but I don't get them. I always just get like stone fruit type of fruit more rather than tropical. Got a little bit of kind of citrus peel type thing as well. The taste is really good. The taste, I've noticed actually in this beer, so after it's been kegged, even when it's pressure fermented, when it's been kegged, It takes about 10 days for it the flavour to come through. Before, inside 10 days, there's this kind of weird flavour, and it's hard to describe what it is. It just doesn't. It tastes really odd. It doesn't taste like it's off or anything like that, or it's bad, but it's just this kind of weird off flavour, or not off flavour, but a weird flavour that it seems to dissipate after about 10 days to 2 weeks. One of the taste notes actually as well was sage. It's not really something I have had in beer. I've had it in sausage rolls many times, but not in beer. However, it is something weird like that. It's that kind of weird taste that I've also got when I brew with Mosaic sometimes. When it's really young, it has this kind of weird taste to it. Weird funky taste. And then it tends to mellow out as the time it conditions more. It's the same with this beer as well. The body on it is quite good now. There's oats in it. I think is it half a kilo? Yeah, 500 grams of oats, which is quite a lot. So that does definitely help it. It also has that kind of creaminess that you normally get with Sabro. Now this Talis is related to Sabro, but I'm not getting the coconut. I never get coconut, and this beer is no exception. Just not getting the coconut on it. Maybe if it was all Talis, which I have done, I would get more coconut, but I'm not. I just don't seem to get it. I do have Sabro now, a packet of Sabro, so I'm going to do a Sabro and Talis beer, a version of this, and we'll see if we can actually pick up that elusive flavour. So yeah, the kind of little creaminess of it, added with the oats, helps the body. 4.7%, but it's not tasting like it's a kind of weak beer, if you know what I mean. The other thing about Talis as well too that I've noticed is the bitterness on it. There's something about the bitterness with Talis that you get, and it's actually really good. I mean, it's not, I haven't looked into it at all, but I'm only saying this because it's come into my head. There's a real kind of nice bitterness on it. It's not an assertive bitterness, but it is definitely kind of, it's not soft either. Sort of in between. It's pleasant. It's a pleasant bitterness. I could drink that beer by the keg. Really like that. The taste as well too, when you get over the 10 days, when that weird taste finishes, you just get lots and lots of kind of grapefruit peel, really kind of intense, Elvis juice type of, that type of intense grapefruit flavour. Maybe the bitterness is like making me think, because the way grapefruit itself is a bit of a bitter fruit. Maybe that's what's in my head then, and I've just talked myself around to determining that, like a doctor would. But yeah, so I prescribe myself another pint after I finish this. Oh, lovely stuff. Anyway, so that's a beer. That's going to be a regular for sure. I really like that very much. So yeah. So as far as brewing goes, I'll show you over there now. I'll show you what I've got on tap, because I want to show you the other side, because I've done a few things over there. I had all these, in summertime I have these big plans. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, and I end up doing hardly anything. And I've done a little bit here, and I'm quite happy with what I've done so far. So let me show you that now. Okay, so the keezer is, as usual, you can see this is what we've got on. So that's the Hazy Talis. Nelson loves Sriracha. That's a New Zealand Pilsner. I probably will be doing a review on that, hopefully soon. I'm on to the second keg of it. I made a double batch, and unfortunately me and my brother just basically blew through the first keg. I was hoping to do a side by side because one is pressure fermented and the other is just a normal ferment. So that has bit the dust, unfortunately. Bar Bruges, trying out a new Bar Bruges, those new hops, and I just basically made a beer, so I'm going to be reviewing it at some point. Then the Kutch is still there in number 4. There's not much left in it. You can see the top is still racked. Basically I cleaned the top, putting it back on, and rather than holding it here when I was screwing it on, I was holding it there like a dick. And yeah, it just ripped clean off. So I haven't got it fixed yet, but the party top is in there somewhere. I tend not to leave the taps on anymore because I've had some leaks. And yeah, and then that down there is all filled up with liquid. We don't want that. So I tend to take them off now. Okay, so this is what we've done. Basically, I was looking for a home for this. We finally mounted it properly on the wall. And then we got rid of that monstrosity sitting there because I wanted to free up this space here. So this is just something that I bought years ago. I bought, there was like 3 of them. That's the biggest one there. It's good for storing glasses. The other one's over there. And then that was the 3rd one, and it was always very small and I couldn't think of anything to do with it. And then I thought, you know what, that would be the perfect size for that iTap. And sure enough, the star sign in there. Clearly. Okay, so it's going out here. It's permanently mounted now, going in there. The beer line goes in there. Only put the beer line in whenever I need it. I don't know whether to permanently put the beer line and leave it in there or not, because it's quite warm in here during the summertime. If the beer line's out going down there, it's going to be really hot, and then I'm worried that it might be foamy by the time it gets to there. So I tend to keep the beer line in there and then take it out when I need it, and then I can just leave that open while I'm doing it. So yeah, that means I've got more space here. So it just basically used to be loads of boxes there. Still one box in there. I've chucked a load of bottles out and chucked a few other bits and bobs out. So that gives me that corner. It means I can put the old boiler in there, put the Robo Brew in there for the time being. I'm still not sure what I'm doing with. And then in behind, I've split the gas line. So now, if I want to use this is for the pressure fermenter. And it's just a case. It's very easy, he says, struggling to do it one-handed. There it is. So this is all, I didn't actually buy anything for this. This is all stuff I had because I bought loads of stuff ages ago and never used. So the pipe is a combination of 3/8 there, and then looks like 3/8 there, and then it goes into 5/16, is that? And then back to 3/8 again for that. And then because I've got different kegs, some are ball lock and some are pin lock, I can just take that off and then change it if they're pin locks. As it goes, the pressure fermenter is a ball lock, but that fits all the way across here, which is what I was talking about a while ago. And it means I can put it in there. You can see that's the remnants of a beer that I need to get out of there. It fits in there perfect. So yeah, so that's it. So I've got a lot more space then, because I chucked out some of the bottles. Still got some bottles in there, glass bottles these are. And I get all my grain now in plastic sealed containers. One, I always had a bag of grain in like a cardboard box, which I was never happy about. It's now got rid of. So I can get all the stuff in there. It gives me space on the top for something that I haven't quite figured out yet. But it means I have this nice bit of space up here. And then down here, we've got our G40 on a trolley, so it means I can just drag it about the place, in and out whenever I want, and then just obviously the water bottle goes in there, as well as all the fermenters and stuff up there. So I'm quite happy about that. I think I have achieved something. I'm leading myself to believe, if not for nothing else, to properly permanently mount that iTap, because the other thing was basically very shoddily put together. It was like a bit of wood and then another couple of bits of wood all kind of nailed together, Homer Simpson style. But I think now that is a proper kind of answer to that. So the only other thing then is I'm starting to think about what I want to brew later in the year. We're now hurtling towards Christmas. The kids are going back to school tomorrow. That means summer's over for me anyway. So in terms of the 5 beers, I made a video ages ago about the 5 beers I wanted to brew this year. I've done 4 of them. There is one more that I haven't done, which is the Belgian beer, which I think I'm going to do a double. I've got all the grains there that I need. I just need to sort out a recipe. I would also like to do another Imperial Stout maybe for the winter as well. So I'm going to have a think about that and see what I want to do. And then after that, I obviously want to keep up the supply of the light beers, especially stuff like that. Stuff like I want 3 taps, 2 taps to be stuff that I drink all the time, and then 1 tap is kind of, it can be like an experimental thing, like I'm testing out hops like the Bar Bruges or something else, and then the 4th tap ideally will be like a big beer, like an Imperial or something like that. And I know it's deadly having Imperials on tap, but it's only really going to be half a keg, to be fair. And even then, chances are I'll end up drinking some of it and then bottling the rest when I'm happy that it's conditioned properly. So yeah, I'm gonna start thinking about that now. I also want to do a bitter at some point. I always want to brew a bitter and then I never do it for whatever reason. I want to do a strong bitter. I actually want to do an oaked bitter. So Speckled Hen it's an oaked, I can't remember what it's called, but it's an oaked version of, and stronger version of Speckled Hen, Old Speckled Hen. And it's really nice, it's really tasty. I get it fairly regularly. So I definitely want to do something like that if I can. So yeah, I think I'll go, and I'm gonna go pour myself another beer and just say happy Homebrew Wednesday. I'll see you next week. Before I go, I'll just pull myself a pint of the Kutch. Just wanted to show you the final colour on it. It's completely clear now, and it is looking pretty spectacular. Spectacularly red, that is. Let's see if we get the torch on. Look at that. Excellent. It probably would look better if I put the torch over there. No, of course it wouldn't. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you that. That's never gonna see the light of day, that little video, but you know, then again, we could throw it in at the end, couldn't we?